Finally, at the end of the chapter, Vegapunk continues his broadcast. In fact, one can assume that in the past, there were a number of continents we know nothing about. We head to Nami's hometown, Kokoyasi village, where they are shocked by the news. Nojiko tells everyone to give the rest of the information to her later. She's going to check on the tangerine groves. Vegapunk continues. If the world were still the same as it was in the past.
Why are you assuming Vegapunk is German, bro? What is this?
Then the act of erasing 100 years of history would be simply unthinkable and impossible. However, it makes it much more sense when you understand that the rise in sea level over that century was 200 meters. Then Marines are in disbelief at this news. Mocktown residents say Vegapunk's lying. The Cherry Blossom Kingdom wonders if that's even possible. I believe we see Miss Golden Week and other people around her are comparing 200 meters to the mountains near them. Vegapunk continues on. As for why the sea level rose so much during that century, it would be natural to assume the work of sudden natural disaster. But I can state for a fact that it was a man-made disaster. Big News Morgans yells out that that's just crazy. Vivi covers his beak and tells him to shush. Vegapunk continues. If such cataclysm were caused by natural forces, then the initial disaster would have spanned several centuries, and in fact, slowed but continual damage upon the world.
Why'd you turn Japanese?
But by any measurement, climatology, geology, environmental, and atmosphere science, the dramatic shift could not have happened within a single century. So, the cause of something else. And when I detected the rise in worldwide sea levels the other day, I had my answer. I knew the reason and confirmed its existence. The ancient weapons that sank the world into the sea 800 years ago still existed today and await the moment. Shut up! And awaited the moment that they start once again. In other words, the vast war that arose during the last century never came to an end. We see Imu's eyes at the end of the chapter. What are your thoughts, guys? Starting with Lawrence.
We talked about, again, the ancient kingdom is probably this really, really massive continent. But I thought it was interesting. According to Vegapunk, he's saying what led to it being sunk was the ancient weapons. But from what we understand, the ones who held the power of the ancient weapons was the ancient kingdoms itself. In fact, the world government hasn't really shown or proven to show that they have it. They kind of been looking for it. We saw it on Water 7, right? That they were trying to get their hands on Pluton. I guess Frankie memorized it, but also burned them up. So he said the only way he has it is in his mind, right? Mm-hmm. Besides from maybe
him and Iceberg most likely memorized it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Which I don't know how, because they even admitted it was impossible.
Yeah. So, and also, it shouldn't be in human hands to create it, right? The danger of it, right? Because we all know, it is, or the makings of it, or to make a new one is on Wano too. But the ancient weapon, when we talk of, is the ancient kingdom had either possession of it or they made it. I don't know if they made it on their continent, which makes it more belief, and then they just probably somehow shipped it to Wano. We don't exactly know how it happened. At the end of the day, it's they had multiple ancient weapons. But what made me think of, if he's saying the ancient weapons is what sunk them, I was just so confused in here, because how do you sink yourself? Unless the world government got their hands on it somehow and used it against them. So then if that happened, and we talk about the rising of it, right? So this massive continent, what rose the sea levels up? I'm trying to do the math on it, how it makes sense, because the panel here also talked about how that mountain over there is just about 200 meters. Imagine the rise of that high. It sounds like hell. How many people must have passed?
Yeah.
But how does this make sense? If it rose 200 meters from that continent of the ancient kingdom being sunken or whatever, but we do know that people probably have to pass. But all of the islands that the 20 kingdoms used to reside on, they were given to other kingdoms. This is what Dolph
You mean when the kings of those nations left to Marijoa, they still existed?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Because Doflamingo said, after the war, and they decided to reside on Marijoa, the 20 kingdoms, the alliance. They assigned those kingdoms, their old kingdoms.
And they erased the names of themselves.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's where Doflamingo, when he lost from Marijoa, he came back to his old kingdom that his family used to own in Dressrosa. The rising of that, how come these islands weren't affected?
I would say that they most likely had kingdoms under them. The same way Wano did, remember? Mm-hmm. And then they moved to Mount Fuji.
Yeah. Okay.
So they probably just migrated. And remember, this is over 800 years.
Yeah.
I'll say this as well.
Landscapes could change through 800 years.
I'll say this as well. In Dressrosa's specific case, they low-key had a plateau basically built on the island.
Flower bed.
Yeah, like that. In case it ever did rise 200 meters, would be good up here. They could have forecasted that just in case. maybe the specific kingdoms or whatever, like the specific kingdoms weren't targeted by these attacks, but they still have fail-safes to protect them, like Wano, like Dressrosa. I'd have to look at what the other kingdoms are, but do we know exactly? Alabasta, I'm trying to think if it has one. I mean, it itself is like a desert kingdom, so maybe it's just not susceptible to sinking underwater in the same way. There's just no water like around it like that. So I don't know, but you were about to say something.
I was gonna say it also could be that you remember how we theorized, like, how could they ever have won against the ancient kingdom? Right. This literally seems impossible. Even if they went against them, there's no way they could beat them. They have ancient weapons. They have Joy Boy. They have Poseidon at their back. So, they have everything.
Yeah. So how do you fumble like that?
So how did they fumble? And I think the most likely case is that they acquired an ancient weapon, and the ancient weapon they must have acquired was Uranus.
Yeah.
But that would be what the betrayal probably is. The gifting of one of those ancient weapons to
Bingo.
The 20 kingdoms.
So it's like, maybe that's what happened. And this is just pure theory. It's hypothetical. If that did happen, then they must have known what the cause and effect of it would be. They must have been relayed that information. So through that, they decided we must move up to a higher height just in case things don't work out. But we're going to use this. So those kingdoms probably exist only because they took action before they took action. You know what I'm saying? All the other kingdoms that must have lost their lives probably weren't allied with those nations. It's like, we're gone now. Like, they must have took a major hit. So I can see like how that works out, Yeah.
No, that makes sense, because I was thinking in my head, like, even though I know the world government, they mentioned the Great Cleansing in the past, right? We don't know exactly what they mean by that. What is to their benefit? The rising of the water. What if that was part of the danger that they saw that the ancient kingdom was doing? Because Vegapunk said that this happened.
The ancient weapons were created 800 years ago. So it happened during the void.
So it happened during the void. It shows to me, again, where I'm linking it back to, like, where I said Odin or Wano could have partly foreshadowed something. Wano is standing above of already sinking. Old Wano, right? Now we see Laugh-Tale. Have you guys ever noticed where their position of where they're laughing? It doesn't really necessarily look like they're on the island, right?
No, I never thought about that.
I thought about that. I was like, why does it look like that?
Imagine they're like in a clam.
Just because it made me think.
Imagine.
It could have been that's why they're not. It's not gonna sound like, oh, it was so sunk the entire time. That's why they were laughing.
Yeah.
But what if you only able to see a little small glimpse of it because the ancient kingdom, like, is sunken? So what is Laugh-Tale? To me, Laugh-Tale could just be part of the ancient kingdom that's still emerged from.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, the
could
kingdom,
be
right?
that too.
So it's like the whole bottom of it is like, I'm too early for whatever reason. But you're only seeing glimpses, because to me it looked like they were still on the ship. They were really close together. When we saw the image of Roger pirates laughing and all. To me, it looked like they couldn't even go on the island. Odin said, open up Wano's borders. What if he learned that, because if he learned the whole century, he must have learned too that the thing is sinking, Yeah. And is rising. Wano could very much happen again. Like, where, so it's like, open up Wano's borders so this doesn't happen again. Because Wano was already sunken the first time. Like, old Wano. A lot of times we see why people become pirates. It's usually, some people say it's not always to escape for something. Odin, in a way, kind of wanted to escape responsibility, so to speak, right? Or not at the very least, he didn't want to be tied down to something. So it goes into Joy Boy. It could be that, but I don't think Oda would write it exactly the same. It could just be also, too, to further their ideas. We saw back in Ohara, it said that they wanted these ideas to be erased from history. But what if Joyboy was trying to share the ideas from the ancient kingdom?
Sharing too much, man.
And it could be that too, where it's like they were going back to the betrayal, is that the girls, they wanted to keep this for themselves. They didn't want the ideas to be shared. This is going back to them being the bad guys, though. So it's like they wanted to share the ideas, and that's why they aligned, like, they're trying to give the world what we have. We're aligned with them, because if they were in alliance before, they would be aligned with the ancient kingdom. That's why I mentioned earlier too. It's like, what if it was 21 kingdoms? And then all the 20 kingdoms aligned against the one, making the 20 alliance against the one kingdom. And it's because we all are advancing or whatever, and you want to share it with the world. Because you see that Celestial Dragon's work is like, we feed ourselves all of the great things, but we give the world nothing. We give them what we want them to read. We control the masses. We give them our leftovers while keeping them satisfied, but also feeding us a little bit to keep going. There's different reasons why people become pirates, right? And of course, it's going to be revealed later on. It shows that how much either the danger or the power that the ancient kingdom had and what they wanted to do was either way was going to affect the world, right? And that's like, so we're going to decide if it's going to affect the world for good or the worse. The ancient kingdom may have sunk themselves. Maybe not purposely, but if you have the power of the ancient kingdoms, one, how do you lose, but how do you sink? So I think there's a piece that we're going to get soon that we're missing of what happened there.
You ready, Seb?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have much to add from what Lawrence was saying. He was spitting, bro. I'm gonna be real. Like, Lawrence was spitting a whole lot there. I'm really starting to gravitate towards the idea that the ʍ𝙗𝐻 were a part of Joy Boy's crew, or Nika's crew, or whatever. It's probably why they refer to him as Nika instead of Joy Boy, because it's like the Straw Hat, like, aren't gonna call Luffy Straw Hat. They're gonna call him Luffy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if they were the ones to betray him and cause all this, that means they weren't a part of the original 20 Kingdoms, and they made a deal with those 20 Kingdoms to get rid of Joy Boy. And it's like, yo, we'll get rid of him, but we running things. Y'all come up, survive, and
I'm running things.
And that would make Emu probably like the right hand, and then the planetary order thing just still works. I kind of really am gravitating to that theory now. 20 Kingdoms was hating, bro. End of the day, we could be all complex and nuanced if we want, but end of the day, they was hating because they had something that y'all ain't have, bro. And y'all did all this to make it happen. The 200 meters thing is kind of crazy. I was thinking of it, like how far that is, but then I started thinking of like when Kaido jumped from the Sky Island, how many meters that must have been. It says like 9,000.
Well, 1 meter equals 3 feet.
Yeah. So I'm like, one,
Kaido's 600 feet.
Kaido's insane. And two, 200 meters is still wild to sink islands and things on that level, right? So I started feeling like I need to learn how to swim. That's all I kept thinking about, bro.
You just told everybody a stereotype.
Yeah, listen, I know how to swim on I can like make it like from a beach.
You don't have to lie, Craig. You don't have to lie.
Listen, I could get like to an area, right? Like if it's in the like visible distance.
Come on, son.
I can't survive 200 meters though. You feel me? Nochiko didn't care.
Celestial Dragon.
I was like, yo, this
Dragon.
is like pertinent to like your sister's
I'm calling
life
it now, bro.
Like your sister is like is like here going through this and like is the navigator, and they're talking about the world is sinking. Like this should be.
Listen, bro. Nusjuro. No Chico?
Come on.
Yo, they sound similar, bro.
I'll chalk it up to her having faith in Nami. It just was wild to see it, right?
Yeah.
Like, yo, she just doesn't care that this is happening. She's chilling. I don't have much else. I do think that Vivi being part of that like last page or so is important. We were just talking about the 20 Kingdoms. The whole chapter is regarding the 20 Kingdoms.
Yeah. And
like the decisions made and stuff. And like she's one of the like offspring of one of the original 20 kingdoms. Yeah. This whole time we've been talking about this, and when I read the chapter, I was trying to identify what the other kingdoms were. I know the Dressrosa is one of them. Alabasta is another one. Although they stayed because there was really technically 19.
Shit, did research and did notes, bro.
Yo, listen, I was in Atlanta, bro.
I did notes today.
I was
literally
busy.
researched in 2 hours.
I was busy. Do you have notes on this?
I do not.
Then shut up.
We don't have the same thought ideas.
Nah,
what
bro. Don't come for me, bro. Don't come for me, bro. Don't do that.
Huh?
Don't.
You want me to have all the answers?
Yeah.
Sweat?
Anyway.
My bad, yo.
But it got me thinking about other islands and other kingdoms in the One Piece world that have like some sort of built-in way to survive a 200-meter rising ocean level or sea level. I know I just talked about Vivi, but Wapple's kingdom has that giant plateau as well. That has the island up there with the cat. Is it castle up there or is that just the girl's house? I don't remember. But either way, I'm saying I think that maybe Wapple is one of those 20 kingdoms. Although he sucks, so who really cares?
Shout out to Wapple, bro.
Yeah, what's it called? Drum Kingdom? Yeah. One of the 20, bro.
The Cherry Blossom Kingdom?
We gotta get 20 kingdoms, bro. We've probably been to all of them. Low key.
Probably.
Yo,
high chance.
Yeah.
High chance.
Skypiea probably. Who knows,
Hockey.
bro? I did like that bar at the end. That the war.
Spit it, bro.
The war never ended, bro. War never changes.
War never changes.
Shout out to Fallout.
Shout out to Fallout. We falling out right now.
Listen, bro, you ain't lying. Lawrence was bringing out the point about like they don't have the ancient weapons, or at least they don't have all of them. They're still looking for them. They're still searching for them. Vegapunks confirmed the existence that they still exist, which we've all known. But like, where are they at though? I'm ready to start seeing some ancient weapons.
Well, the ancient weapons exist. We know that.
I'm ready to start seeing them. Is my point.
Yeah.
I know Lucia go hard.
One of them.
We don't even know that.
No, we see Poseidon.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I mean, that's an ancient weapon. Even though that's not like.
Let me rephrase.
That might be Fishman created.
Let me rephrase. I want to start seeing them in action.
Yeah.
And maybe Leloucia was that.
Yeah, Leloucia definitely was that, bro.
There's
no way.
I'm trying to see, bro. Because if the Mother Flame is a fraction of what it could be, that means Leloucia could be done. Like, remember in Star Wars where they wiped out that one planet,
and now
then
they
like
wiping out
now they
multiple
wiping out 5 planets at once and stuff.
Yeah, that's so scary. Imagine you were taking a dookie and you just
Would it matter, bro?
Exploded, bro. What are you doing then?
What do you mean? What am I doing? My planet's gone, bro.
I just go to the toilet. I just be like, yo, I'm safe here.
Well, that's all I got, man. I'm trying to see 𝐴𝐴's face.
Yeah.
I hope she a baddie.
I hope she's a baddie.
Oh my God, I hope she's a baddie, bro.
Little Dottie Bobby. You finito?
I'm done.
All right, I will say this, bro. The 20 Kingdoms might have gone hard, but I ain't see one sword in that empty throne room that was black. I'll tell you that. I have a theory. I think the previous Poseidon created the Calm Belt when they were losing the war. And I do not know how they were losing the war. Poseidon? And then you got Water 7 ancient shipwrights building you Pluton. And then you had Wano, who has all this tech too that's unbreakable.
Whole time Joy Boy like, yo, we don't gotta fight, guys. We don't have to fight.
And then they
lose it.
And then they got Uranus, most likely from the Birkins that built it. I'm like, bro, how did the 20 Kingdoms beat them, bro? Like,
listen, bro. Dirk beat the Heat, bro.
This is literally like being 28-3 in a football game at the Super Bowl, and then you just lose.
It's
like,
worse, bro.
How, bro?
He gassed out.
I will say that most likely they obviously took precautions to say, yo, we're losing the war. We know we're losing the war, and we have to send out these poneglyphs. We have to have this letter from Lily. What's Poseidon's role? And I've always said this. Poseidon has kind of been a non-factor for these lores that we keep getting dropped on us. What happened to her? What was said? What was done?
She got pregnant.
She's not even mentioned except once, and it was that she existed with that Joy Boy, and they were cool. That's it. If she did have a part to play, I think she created the Calm Belt. She took her precautions. You know how Boa told Blackbeard that even after I pass away, those people are still not going to be turned back to normal. They're going to stay stoned. Even if a person that has the devil fruit later on will not be able to turn them. They're going to stay stoned. What if her ability is like the Aquaman ability that we've seen Poseidon already have with the Neptunians, where she can command all these fish and program them throughout, I would guess fish don't live forever. But we don't know how long the Neptunians live for.
Like through perpetuity?
Yeah.
Won't
so
attack,
they're not allowed to like ever leave here, which splits the oceans. That way, some islands could be safe from the world government because, one, they didn't have the technology to cross the Calm Belt until Vegapunk arrived. Vegapunk was the first one to coat the bottom of battleships with sea stone. That way, they could cross the Calm Belt. That was said from, I believe, Nami or Kobe or somebody like that.
During the post-Water 7
Yeah,
stuff.
Nami was overhearing a conversation. She was eavesdropping. That's something I think that Poseidon probably did back then. If Vegapunk is not able to replicate the technology, such as the Mother Flame, or probably Uranus, right? That means whatever ancient weapon was back then, if it's not destroyed, and it had a power source that was unbelievable, might have caused the same damage it did, but it broke apart, it flooded the oceans 200 meters. But here's the more important factor. You remember how they always said New World's oceans are way more deadlier? Not because of the people, but because the weather is so much more dramatically different. Maybe that's where it was used, and it changed the weather forever. Vegapunk mentions the climatology. It affected the oceans and the climate so much that it changed it forever. And we get that where? Alabasta. Alabasta, when they tried to make it rain, what happened to the climate? It took rain away. So there's been foreshadows to climate change too. And it's by weapons created by man. So it's like, oh, snap. Like, nah, like we're diving deep, bro. I mean, I know I'm saying some things, but they're not that interesting. But
no, you actually made me think of something. Because you're talking about changing climates. This is just a wild take because the more I thought about it, it doesn't make sense. The Ancient Kingdom was in the New World. And Laftel is probably like, an already sunken ancient kingdom, but like a piece of it. But when you talked about it changing climates, or what they're able to do, and we're getting these ancient weapons from the ancient kingdom, what if one of the weapons was creation of abilities? Like one of the ancient kingdoms that's not spoken about creates devil fruits.
I think once Vegapunk let us know what it was.
Yeah, I know.
It was kind of like...
But that's what I said.
He still said it was a theory, technically.
Technically, too, Lawrence could be right. Because
they could have a mass idea creation situation.
Exactly. They could create enough...
Did I just say mass idea creation situation?
It's okay, bro.
When you were saying that, it made me think of that.
Yeah.
Because the ancient kingdom is supposed to be so advanced that it could turn your dreams or realities into reality. Into fruits.
Dreams and
so you can harness that power.
I need to hear from Emu. I want Emu to probably say something to themselves Like, even the crown of Emu looks very similar to the crowns of that silhouette picture of Joy Boy and the Three Kings that we saw. It's going to be very interesting to see how that kingdom played its part. We don't know who's right.
Yeah.
That's it, bro.
And
we don't know who's right.
We got Emu's name, right? The family name's Nerona. So was there a Nerona kingdom?
Wait.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, they showed us the kingdom. Yeah.
I was thinking to Lily.
Yo, low key, Perona. Perona part of the kingdom, bro.
Don't make Perona more important than she is, bro, please.
That's a very good point. I didn't
and
realize
you know what
it
she
too.
does? She suppresses people's wills, bro.
Stop.
Marv know what I'm talking about. He's seen Thriller Bark. Mm-hmm.
But that's a good call out. I didn't even notice that Eam is very much still dressed like them.
Hold on. And you know who she's cool with? Mihawk. And who has the same eyes as Mihawk?
Dun, dun, dun.
Damn, yo. Smush fry. I'm telling you, bro.
Marv, did you see
Bro.
Black Dynamite? I feel like I end up asking Marv this question like once every 60 episodes.
Listen, bro. I'm connecting dots, bro.
Listen, bro.
Y'all not doing this, bro. All right.
A sleepiest, of course. I guarantee you there's an Sleepiest reference in One Piece somewhere, bro. Listen.
And who is the god of war?
Aries! That's
And the kind of malt liquor gives you what? Gives you what? Lil Richie. And what's another name for Lil Richie?
It's Richard.
All right, I'm done.